In every war, there are legends' names written in textbooks, faces etched into monuments. But history is also shaped by those who never sought glory, never commanded armies, and never appeared on propaganda posters. During World War II, while the world watched the clash of nations, a different kind of hero emerged: ordinary men and women who changed the course of history without ever firing a shot. Today, we uncover their stories. Stories of courage hidden in the shadows. Stories that might have been lost forever. Welcome to the silent side of World War II. And before we begin, if you love exploring the untold corners of our past, consider subscribing so you never miss a journey like this one. Our first silent hero wasn't a soldier. He was a librarian. In the Nazi-occupied city of Warsaw, Emanuel Ringelblum quietly organized one of the most important information-gathering efforts of the entire war. While the world struggled to understand what was happening inside the Warsaw ghetto, Ringelblum and his team secretly wrote, documented, sketched, and chronicled every atrocity and every movement. They called it the Oyneg Shabas Archiver collection of more than 35,000 pages, buried in metal milk cans and tin boxes. They weren't trying to survive the war. They were trying to make sure the truth would. Only 3 people from the entire network lived to see the archive dug up after the war. History survived because the silent chose to speak. Next, we travel to France, where one of the most unlikely spies in history operated with fearless precision. Her name was Virginia Hall, an American woman with a prosthetic leg she named Cuthbert. The Nazis called her the most dangerous of all Allied spies. Virginia disguised herself as an elderly French milkmaid, limped through checkpoints, delivered weapons, coordinated resistance networks, and outwitted the Gestapo so many times they believed she was multiple people. When the Nazis spread her wanted posters across France, she didn't run. She changed her disguise, learned new accents, and continued working under their noses. From a quiet mountain hut, she organized sabotage missions that derailed German troop movements for months. A woman with one leg who brought an empire to its knees. Our next silent hero wasn't even aligned with the Allies. In 1940, in Lithuania, Japanese diplomat Chiune Sugihara was given one order: do not issue visas. But outside his office stood thousands of desperate Jewish refugees begging for the one thing that could save them passage out of Europe. Sugihara faced an impossible choice: obey his government or obey his conscience. For 29 days, he wrote visas from dawn until night, issuing thousands, so many that his hands cramped and his wife had to massage them just so he could continue. When he was forced to leave the country, he continued writing visas on the train and finally threw stamped papers out the window so more families could escape. He knew he would lose his career, and he did, but he saved over 6,000 lives. One man, one pen, one choice that changed thousands of destinies. Not all heroes were soldiers. Not all heroes were adults. In the Netherlands, a teenage girl named Hannie Schaft joined the underground resistance after witnessing the persecution of her Jewish friends. Calm, intelligent, and unassuming, Hannie quickly became one of the German command's greatest threats. She forged documents, sabotaged operations, and carried messages right under the noses of occupying forces. Her bright red hair made her recognizable, so she dyed it black and continued her missions. The Nazis feared her so much that when they finally captured her, one of the guards reportedly said she looked like a girl, but she fought like an army. Even in her final moments, she refused to reveal a single name. Courage doesn't always shout. Sometimes it looks like a quiet teenage girl walking down a cold Dutch street. While battles raged across Europe, another war was being fought in small rooms filled with chalkboards and humming machines. At Bletchley Park, thousands, many of them young women, worked in complete secrecy, deciphering enemy messages. Most never told their families anything about their work. Some kept the secret for more than 50 years. Among them was Joan Clark, a brilliant cryptanalyst who worked alongside Alan Turing. Despite being paid less and barred from certain positions because she was a woman, she cracked codes that shortened the war by years and saved millions of lives. Their work was so classified that even after the war, many of these codebreakers never received recognition. Some died without anyone knowing what they had contributed. The war was won not only by those on the front lines, but by those who quietly unlocked the enemy's secrets. As the war neared its end, Europe faced not just the loss of people, but the possible destruction of its culture. That's when a small group of museum curators, art historians, and archaeologists called the Monuments Men set out on a desperate mission to find and recover priceless art stolen by the Nazis. They weren't soldiers. They had little training, but they had a mission. Save the world's cultural memory. They navigated booby-trapped tunnels, collapsing castles, and mountains of rubble to recover masterpieces like the Ghent altarpiece and works by Michelangelo, Rembrandt, and Vermeer. Thanks to them, thousands of stolen artworks were returned. Once again, the quiet saved what the loud tried to destroy. Amid the horror of Auschwitz, one man risked everything to expose the truth. His name was Witold Pilecki, a Polish resistance fighter who did the unthinkable. He volunteered to be arrested and sent to Auschwitz. His mission: document the atrocities and smuggle out evidence to the Allies. For 2.5 years, Pilecki secretly built a resistance network inside the camp, gathered eyewitness reports, and sent them to the outside world. His message was clear: this is not a labor camp. This is extermination. Many governments doubted the reports. It seemed too horrific to be real. Pilecki later escaped the camp, continued fighting, and after the war was executed by the Soviet government. His bravery was hidden for decades. Sometimes being a silent hero is more dangerous than being a soldier. World War II was shaped by generals, politicians, and armies, but also by quiet hands and unseen sacrifices. A librarian who protected the truth, a diplomat who defied orders, a girl who stood against tyranny, a spy with a wooden leg, codebreakers who unlocked victory, curators who saved humanity's art, a prisoner who exposed the unimaginable. These are the silent heroes. And without them, the world might look very different today. If you found these hidden stories inspiring, consider liking this video, and if you want to keep exploring the forgotten corners of history, make sure to subscribe for more. Before you go, which silent hero from this video impressed you the most and why? Or do you know another unsung hero whose story deserves to be told? Let me know in the comments.